Good morning, School of Light. God bless you guys. It's 7:05 here in New Mexico. I just spent the last, I don't know how long, recording some chapters that I recorded yesterday. And I had a feeling I'm reading through the chapter. I'm like, man, this looks really familiar. I think I did this yesterday. So let's just hop right to it. Chapter 18 in the book of Exodus. This is after God delivered the people from slavery, put them through the water, and they came out on the other side. And let's see, they also fought with the Amalekites. And Moses was, anytime he had his hands up like this, the people were winning. And chapter 18. Now Jethro, the priest of Midian and father-in-law of Moses, heard of everything God had done for Moses and for his people Israel, and how the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt. After Moses had sent away his wife Zipporah, his father-in-law Jethro received her and her two sons. One son was named Gershom, for Moses said, I had become an alien in a foreign land, and the other was named Eleazar. For he said, my father's God was my helper. He saved me from the sword of Pharaoh. Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, together with Moses' sons and wife, came to him in the desert, where he was camped near the mountain of God. Jethro had sent word to him, I, your father-in-law Jethro, am coming to you with your wife and her two sons. So Moses went out to meet his father-in-law and bowed down and kissed him. They greeted each other and then went into the tent. Moses told his father-in-law about everything the Lord had done to Pharaoh and the Egyptians for Israel's sake, and about all the hardships they had met along the way, and how the Lord had saved them. That's the kind of talk I like to talk about. Like many people talk just, I don't know, this or that, and a lot of the conversations really don't lead to much, if anything. And I'm of the mindset that we have such a short time. We think it's long here on earth, but really it's such a short time. And why not redeem the time? Why not take advantage of that time and speak about things that will actually create? So, for example, there's two people sitting together, and the example A, they're sitting together and they say, oh man, my refrigerator, I really can't wait to get rid of this one. I would like to get a new one, the silver kind, blah, blah, blah. Just talking. No intentions of replacing the refrigerator, just spitting it out. Versus example B, two people working together saying, what about we work together, we buy some residential properties, put some used refrigerators in them, and create something that's going to be asset. It's going to be something that can help you. It's more than just assets. It's going to be a tool, a resource. It could, you're building friendships, and that person might be the resource to help you in so many ways, so many different kind of ways. So that's just something I want to talk about that hit me. And I like that he's telling them the whole story, and he's including all the hardships they had met along the way and how the Lord had saved them. Jethro was delighted to hear about all the good things the Lord had done for Israel in rescuing them from the hand of the Egyptians. He said, praise be to the Lord who rescued you from the hand of the Egyptians and of Pharaoh, and who rescued the people from the hand of the Egyptians. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all of the other gods, for he did this to those who had treated Israel arrogantly. Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, brought a burnt offering and other sacrifices to God, and Aaron came up with all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law in the presence of God. The next day, Moses took his seat to serve as judge for the people, and they stood around him from morning till evening. When his father-in-law saw all that Moses was doing for the people, he said, What is this that you're doing for the people? Why do you alone sit as judge? Well, all these people stand around you from morning till evening. Moses answered, because the people come to me to seek God's will. Whenever they have a dispute, it is brought to me, and I decide between the parties and inform them of God's decrees and laws. Moses, his father-in-law, replied, what you are doing is not good. You and all these people who come to you will only wear yourselves out. There's some wisdom right there. You know, there was a time in my life when I thought that kind of mentality, like, okay, I'm in business for myself. Uh, maybe if I put in 10 hours, 12, 13 hours, it'll do better. And really, I don't think those extra things and stuff I did is probably a waste of time. There's only a few things looking back that really produced results and I could have probably had the same effects going back now that I'm older, the same level of success, not any higher or lower, and I probably could have done it with a little bit more than half the time. Yes. So he's saying, you only wear yourself out. The work is too heavy for you. You cannot handle it alone. And listen now to me, and I will give you some advice, and may God be with you. You must be the people's representative before God and bring their disputes to Him. Teach them the decrees and laws and show them the way to live and the duties that they are to perform. But select capable men from all the people, men who fear God, trustworthy men who hate dishonest gain. Ooh, man, that feels like me. Ooh, I could hear some gunshots at some folks hunting. Who hate dishonest gain and appoint them as officials over thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens. Have them serve as judges for the people at all times, but have them bring every difficult case to you. The simple cases they can decide for themselves. That will make your load lighter because they will share it with you. If you do this and God so commands you, will be able to stand the strain and all these people will go home satisfied. Moses listened to his father-in-law and did everything he said. He chose capable men from all of Israel and made them leaders of the people, officials over thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens. They served as judges for the people at all times. The difficult cases they brought to Moses, but the simple ones they decided for themselves. Moses sent his father-in-law on his way, and Jethro returned to his own country. So here's some really some insights that just kind of hit me. One is, God is so concerned over us. It's. I was thinking about that the other day, and his concern. He's watching someone sleeping right now, and I was thinking last night. I'm so grateful that God is my friend because I've had friends from elementary to my age now. Some leave you, forsake you. Family even betrays you, and he's always been my best friend. Always, always, always been my best friend. Never leaves me. He's with me all the time. So sometimes, because he has such great concern for us, a lot of times he speaks to us through people. In this case, I think it was his wife's father. And he was seeing that his son-in-law was just overworked too much. And he wanted to give him a load that he can carry. And he gave him the solution for that and how to accomplish it, kind of like the methods. So there's a lesson in that. Chapter 19. In the third month, after the Israelites left Egypt, on the very day they came to the desert of Sinai, after they set out from Rephidim, they entered the desert of Sinai, and Israel camped there in the desert in front of the mountain. Then Moses went up to God, and the Lord called to him from the mountain and said, "This is what you are to say to the house of Jacob, and this is what you are to tell the people of Israel. You yourselves have seen what I did at Egypt and how I carried you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Now, if you obey me fully and keep my commands, Then out of all these nations you will be my treasured possession. Although the whole earth is mine, you will be for me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. Verse 5, it says, now if you obey me fully and keep my covenant, then out of all the nations you'll be my treasured possession. So picture yourself and just around 10 people, right? And we'll say those are the nations and you're your own nation. And God says, if you keep my commands, keep my covenant, then out of these, you'll be my treasured possession. So Moses went back and summoned the elders and the people and said before them all the words the Lord had commanded him to speak. The people all responded together, we will do everything that the Lord has said. So Moses brought their answers back to the Lord. The Lord said to Moses, I'm going to come to you in a dense cloud so that the people will hear me speaking with you and will always put their trust in you. Then Moses told the people what the people had said. And the Lord said to Moses, go to the people and consecrate them today and tomorrow. Have them wash their clothes and be ready by the third day, because on that day the Lord will come down on Mount Sinai in the sight of all the people. Put limits for the people around the mountain. Tell them, be careful that you do not go up the mountain or touch the foot of it. Whoever touches this mountain shall surely be put to death. He shall surely be stoned or shot with arrows, and not a hand is to be laid on him. Whether man or animal, he shall not be permitted to live. Only when the ram's horn sounds a long blast may they go up to the mountain. After Moses had gone down from the mountain to the people, he consecrated them, and they washed their clothes. Then he said to the people, prepare yourselves for the third day. Abstain from sexual relations. On the morning of the third day, there was thunder and lightning with a thick cloud over the mountain and a very loud trumpet blast. Everyone in the camp trembled. Then Moses led the people out of the camp to meet with God, and they stood at the foot of the mountain. Mount Sinai was covered with smoke because the Lord descended on it in fire. The smoke billowed up from it like the smoke from a furnace. The whole mountain trembled violently, and the sound of the trumpet grew louder and louder. Then Moses spoke, and the voice of God answered him. The Lord descended to the top of the mountain. Descended? Why does it say descended to the top? Usually ascend, right? There's some of these little things in the Bible, like, let's see, they're like about that noticeable, about as noticeable as that lead there. And you just gotta like look small, And I read through this many times. It just never really stuck out to me. The Lord descended to the top of the mountain. Oh, the Lord descended. I get it. I thought it said Moses. Okay. So the Lord descended to the top of the mountain and called Moses to the top of the mountain. So Moses went up. And the Lord said to him, go down and warn the people so that they do not force their way through to see the Lord, and many of them perish. Even the priests who approach the Lord must consecrate themselves, or the Lord will break out against them. Moses said to the Lord, the people cannot come up Mount Sinai, because you yourself warned us, put limits around the mountain and set it apart as holy. The Lord replied, go down and bring Aaron up with you, but the priest and the people must not force their way through to come up to the Lord, or he will break out against them. So Moses went down to the people and told them. Get a shot of coffee. Good morning, Mom. ¿Cómo te metes?
Yeah.
Good.
¿Cuándo está vestido?
I'm doing the School of Light video. Chapter 20. And God spoke all these words, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. Number one, have no other gods before. And it's so easy, guys, especially in this world in America. I have passions for business and things, numbers and stuff like that. So, in my past, I could say in my 30s, I spent maybe abnormal amount of time in business, working, um, and I might, and I many times I think I put business or work or these goals in front of God, ahead of God. So that becomes like a God. Second commandment: you shall not make for yourself an idol in the form of anything in heaven or above or on earth beneath or in the waters below. You shall not bow down to them or worship them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God. Okay, so let me just, I thought about this last week, and where he says, I am a jealous God. Now, a lot of you who might be older and have had a um, romantic relationship, right? And like jealousy is too much jealousy is like bad, right? Because like you have your spouse and or whoever, and if they're jealous all the time, you go to the store, who'd you see, and stuff like that, it becomes a problem. But I think the jealousy that God's talking about is, you have this passion for your beautiful wife, and you're just totally committed 100%. You give your all, and then someone were to harass her, a male, right? And the jealousy, or try to take her from you, or try to seduce her and harass her. The jealousy would, it's a fire. It's like how dare you? And that's how much God is. He says, I am a jealous God. He feels that jealousy, like the worst jealousy, the strongest jealousy you've ever felt, because you love that person. Not like, oh, I'm so jealous of, or I feel jealousy. It's like they're jealous for you. They're they don't want anything to harm, to disrupt, to to destroy that relationship that you have. And that's where God is. He doesn't want anything to destroy the relationship that we have with him. So he's a jealous God, punishing the children for the sins of their fathers to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me. So, if those hate God, he punishes. It's not really him, as they kind of punish themselves, because you're just going against the universal law. But showing love to 1,000 generations of those who love me and keep my commands. Number 3, you should not misuse the name of the Lord your God, for the Lord will not hold anyone guiltless who misuses his name. Number 4, remember the Sabbath. Keep it holy. 6 days you work, but on the seventh, a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work, neither you, your son, daughter, your manservant, maidservant, or your animals, or the alien, your tractors, your hired hands, your employees, whatever. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. Honor your father and your mother, so that you may live long in the land the Lord your God is giving you. Number 5 is honor your father and your mother, so that you may be careful so that you might live in the land the Lord your God is giving you. You shall not murder. Number 6. Number 7, you shall not commit adultery. Number 8, you shall not steal. Number 9, you shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. I'm not going to say, but I've experienced that in New Mexico. False testimony, false police reports and stuff. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. Don't be jealous. Siblings or whoever's out there jealous. Don't covet your neighbor's wife or his menservants or maidservants, his ox or donkey. That means his tractor or his baler or his truck or car or anything that belongs to their neighbor. When the people saw the thunder and lightning and heard the trumpet and saw the mountain smoke, they trembled with fear. They stayed at a distance and said to Moses, speak to us yourself and we will listen, but do not have God speak to us or we will die. Moses said to the people, do not be afraid. God has come to test you so that the fear of God will be with you to keep you from sinning. The people remained at a distance while Moses approached the thick darkness where God was. Then the Lord said to Moses, tell the Israelites this, you have seen for yourselves that I have spoken to you from heaven. Do not make any gods to be alongside me. Do not make for yourselves gods of silver or gods of gold. Make an altar of earth for me and sacrifice on it your burnt offerings and your fellowship offerings, your sheep and goat and your cattle. Wherever I cause my name to be honored, I will come to you and bless you. If you make an altar of stones for me, do not build it with dressed stones, for you will defile it if you use a tool on it. And do not go up to my altar on steps, lest your nakedness be exposed. Very, very interesting that the first one is, you shall have no other gods before me. And then at the end of chapter 20, he also says again, kind of reiterating, idols and altars, do not make any gods alongside of me. Do not make for yourselves gods of silver or gods of gold. Gods of silver or gods of gold. Chasing the dollar. Don't chase the dollar, man. Chase like creating things that are positive, impactful to others, not just yourself. Keep God first. Don't put nothing ahead of him. And then realize, looking back on your life, that he doesn't leave you or forsake you. Girlfriends do, boyfriends do, husbands, wives, they leave you, they forsake you. But he's always with us. He's always with me. In Tennessee, I was thinking last night, you know, every day, every night, when I'm sleeping and everything, he's there. He's my best friend. God's my best friend. I love him. I respect him so much. He has shown me faithfulness. Oh my gosh, I can't even go into all the stuff he has shown me. But get close to him, because when you get close to that person, when you get close to man, don't put your trust in man, because you get close to that person and you put all your trust in girlfriend, boyfriend. Things change. Who knows what happens? Whatever it is, boom. Now your world is wrecked, because you built it on something that's going to leave you and forsake you. You built it on something that's shaking and shifting. The foundation is here today, and tomorrow it's there. You got to build it on the rock. You got to build it on the rock. You got to build it on Jesus. We got to build it on Jesus. We got to build our lives on Jesus. You see all these homeless people. You see all these people that are going to drugs and things like that. And it's the only way I see a victory is that the Holy Spirit comes into those situations. The love, and then the Holy Spirit inspires the love that's in our heart and gives us more love. And then we make the difference. We do this. We do the thing. We're God's hands and feet. We bring him glory by allowing his Spirit to work through us, and then his Spirit comes. It's like an insertion. The military would have these different type of insertions, and one of them would be, you have a helicopter. You're inserted by helicopter, and you fast rope, or you rappel down, whichever one they choose. But it's kind of like that. You listen to God, you obey, and you act. It's like calling in God, and he comes in, or the Holy Spirit, and he comes into the situation, slides down the fast rope, gets off, rolls off from the fast rope, and he's there, and he's gonna kick some butt. He's locked, loaded, full of power. He's like changing situations, and that's what I hope he does for you. God bless. It's been a little bit long for these chapters, 25 minutes almost, but get in your word, School of Light. Remember, free Bible study correspondence course through the mail. Ask for it. You don't pay for it. We send it to you. You never pay for it. And self-addressed stamped envelope. You fill it out, answer the questions, send it back to us. We grade it. We keep track at the end of the series. If you complete it, we send you a certificate of completion. Enough certificate of completions depending on the classes, and it can also count for college credit depending on the college that you're trying to get credit from. So that's it from School Light this morning. God bless you guys and have a great rest of the day.